Robyn did reach out and ask if I wanted to go over there for Thanksgiving, and I'm not going to do that. That's just weird.
Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 4, First Impression and Highlights. On a serious side note, if you have not seen the episode yet and you're a no contact kid with, whoever, you had one of those conversations and you're still kind of working through that, watch with caution, because I literally had to laser focus so I would stop dissociating in this whole conversation Kody and Robyn had, but we'll get to that in a minute. It was rough. It was rough. Alrighty, we start the episode by hearing that Avalon is having a hard time because she has 2 new siblings, which is pretty developmentally normal. It's going to be something she'll get used to. Then Christine and Robyn are chilling. Actually, it seemed like, even though it was awkward, and there was one time where Christine was like, ha ha ha, and then she turns her face and completely serious. But it makes me want to say this again that I've said many, many times. Ladies, you all need to go out without Kody and talk to each other and compare notes. I think you might find something interesting. When Robyn joined the family, they're talking about how close she was with Mykelti. We're going into that whole thing. It feels like we're setting up a Robyn redemption arc, and then Kody actually did have something to say about the grandkids too, but that was a total lie.
I'm having a very difficult time connecting with all of my kids. And of course, twins being born is going to give us all something special, something maybe that heals, helps to, move things forward. I don't know if it'd heal anything between me and ex-wives, but I'm going to have to go see those babies. I got to see those grandkids, so I'm going to be excited to go see them. And this is going to give us more opportunity to open the doors with my children.
So now the family healing is the job of the literal newborns. Well, that tracks for who he is. Then we get to the clip that we started with, Thanksgiving, and we seem to talk about the holidays a lot with this family, but they met and they're like little separate things. Peyton went to Janelle's because he feels like she's his second mom, that sort of thing. But Meri stood up for herself.
I've heard Kody say multiple times how awkward it is that I'm even there because he can't show the affection and the adoration to Robyn that he wants to, and I'm not going to inhibit that. I'm not a member of the family. I just really don't want to go be a third wheel at Robyn and Kody's house.
So Meri ends up spending Thanksgiving alone, and I do want to put a little reframe on that. There are holidays where I have chosen to be by myself, and it was actually kind of aggravating when people were like, no, you can't be, oh my God, you poor thing. And I was like, this is a choice. So let's just reframe that there. Then Kody, he's safe, he's unsafe, chases his tail some more. It's a whole thing.
I'm really struggling in many ways that it still feels like something's missing. This is small. There's just
Something's missing.
7 of us. It's quiet. It feels safe.
Okay, we don't get sympathy for something's missing, and I feel safer in the same breath, so we're not doing that, okay? And then Meri is keeping a different energy than the other wives did when they get divorced, and all paths are valid, and she hasn't really told the family what's going on, or she's decided to get a divorce or anything like that. Kody and Robyn talk about how they want the kids in Kody's life, however, Kody's willing to do absolutely no work to do that. Then we get to this ominous screen blip. So Kody and Robyn go into this whole conversation. There was a lot said. I'm going to do like a 2-parter on it because that's just what we're going to have to do. However, I'm going to read you exactly what I wrote down. Getting called out makes Kody feel triggered. Well, kids are all upset with Kody. Then he laments not being able to be a part of his grandkids' lives because...
You saw Madison take her kids and scuttle them away from me.
Yeah, I saw.
She never told me she was pregnant. She never told me she was going to have a baby.
The important question, but why?
Maddie doesn't have any contact with him. She is very protective of her children. Kody has not been there since Evie was born, and Evie's 3.5. And she didn't want him to just drop in and be like, oh, I'm your grandpa, and then be like, what? Who is this guy? You know what I mean?
Then Kody goes on to lament about how can he have a relationship with his grandchildren because she moved him to another coast. Even Janelle doesn't seem to have an issue with that, really. But he says that, I have a job, which, by the way, if we don't remember, is driving around Flagstaff in the car he can't afford. Then he goes on to say that his kids are liars. They betrayed him. And then Robyn starts talking about her dad, who was absent. But don't worry, at the end of this conversation, they decided the important thing was to work on their relationship and not his relationships with the kids. Then Christine goes into talking about David, and they had a good first date. He pulls her chair closer. They get all lovey-dovey in the face, and the rest is history. We already saw the wedding special.
Do you know of something I did wrong besides not falling madly in love with their mothers?
So then Kody goes on to say that he's getting punished for a crime he didn't commit, which he actually said 3 total times in this episode, maybe 4 in case I missed one. He laments about the divorces. Robyn's telling him you really need to build these relationships with your kids, and he's saying, phone works both ways, and I'm only going to love them under these conditions. So conditional love, that's really, really pushing your case. If I were any one of his kids and ever saw this, I would never speak to him again, but I would never speak to him again in general. And asking Robyn, well, what do you know that I did wrong? Tag me in, coach, tag me in. So Kody goes on to say that hopefully he'll get to a point where his love tank will be full. Vicky Gumbelson, what are you doing here? I didn't expect to see you here. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. And then they go on to say that the estrangement is hurting them more than it's hurting the kids. A whole lot of self-serving crap. That's this week in a nutshell. Now, I'm going to be back with more substantial recaps and, of course, a recap of that whole Kody-Robyn conversation, whatever, once I've been processing that. But I have midterms this week, and I have 2 huge midterms tomorrow and 2 huge papers due Wednesday, so I will be back when I can, and I hope you guys have a good day / couple days.